Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I know that there's a lot more faces in here than expected, but that's okay. Standing room only. I'm here for it. The more the merrier. And if you can't see me, then I can't see you. So make sure that you can locate a spot so you can see me. And really, I'm really excited to start this morning because, investing in yourself, elevating your craft, and building growth upon your own profession is very important. So seeing more faces in here is very exciting for me to open up the morning together. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce myself real quick. I'm Rachel Costello from Atlanta, Georgia. I work at 313 Salon Spa and Boutique. And who here is wanting to work smarter, not harder? I know I am. I try to make the most out of every day that I have. Sometimes you're gonna have that unexpected slow day or cancellations. You dread those. But, and also, who does not want to stay stagnant in their profession? I know that the best way to not stay stagnant is to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable and trying new things and embracing change. So with that being said, this morning together will be just that. I want you guys to embrace looking at things differently. And I also invite you to ultimately kind of shift your perspective and change the way that you look and do things behind the chair. So with that being said, I invite you to take everything in, absorb it, reflect on it, and then put it into action. So we're gonna demo out some color today, a very fun, purposeful placement, fall-inspired color demo and technique today. But also I'm gonna filter in some things that may help you build your business behind the chair, because I know we're always looking to increase our ticket average. And with that, I'm gonna introduce myself with using Lori Professional Portfolio. And Lori Professional is near and dear to my heart because not only do I educate with them, but I was inspired by them to use everything that they have in the portfolio for creating opportunity for myself and growth. And what I mean by that is you can use their treatments, you can use their color, you can curate a personalized guest experience for them, which behind me, I have a little thing that says ammonia-free guest experience, and that's what our demo is all about. But also opportunity in curating that guest experience with hair care needs, professionally prescribing, professionally recommending. And that is those little nuances and those conversations that we have with guests that can help ultimately build that lasting impression. Impression meaning like the smells that they have with hair care, or that lasting impression with how you made them feel in their chair and personalizing that experience. So I will start with our demo, and we'll filter in all those little niblets of information along the way, okay? So I will start demoing out on Miss Ellie here, our ANOA. And I'm gonna do a technique that we can all kind of utilize behind the chair, but with fall approaching, I was inspired by coppers when the leaves change. And let's just say this is a faded out, kind of browned out, natural level 6, but she got a little sun-kissed and she's a little brassy now. And like a 634, a gold copper, okay? So I wanna kinda embellish that a little more and bring more vibrance, but also dimension. So I will utilize one of my favorite things I like to buzzword with my clients is the ammonia-free guest experience. And they're like, what is that? Well, with that being said, it's going to be using a NOAA. I got 2 bowls here. I usually have one light brush and one dark brush, and that will just kind of help things differentiate between the two. But I'm using a NOAA today because I love how creamy, ammonia-free, permanent hair color, and longevity of it through the fall. But then I'm also going to use Dia Color, and the two shades I used is a Nova 20 volume 6x6 at her base, and also some dimensional low lights. And then we'll also pull through some 15 volume Dia Color 7/4. But I'm going to relocate this. And before we do that, one opportunity in a way that you can build your ticket average is introducing Metal Detox to your guests. Metal Detox is not only going to give you 100% reliable color results, but it's also going to neutralize the metals in the hair, which cause that damage potentially. So Miss Ellie here has fine hair, so I'm going to gently, evenly distribute a couple spritzes throughout the head, not holding too close, micro misting it through, and we'll follow up with the shampoo and mask after her color service. About 8 to 20, depending on the density of the hair, throughout the entire head. And being mindful of her face, not to spray it, and evenly distribute it. Where'd my brush go? Right in here. Okay, she's just slightly damp, like she walked in from a little misting rain shower, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get my gloves on. Now I'm using a Noah because not only is it gonna be ammonia free and reliable result of color, but also with the vegan. And I don't know about you, but my clients are all about, is something gluten-free, is something vegan, is something going to be beneficial for my hair. And also clients notice the details. So working in clean sections and also in the clean area. So I keep my station clean, organized, and that's how I can work more timely and efficient behind the chair. And I'm doing a radial parting here. Ear to ear, and then from the back, I'm going to do that profile parting off of her organic natural part and sectioning that out. So I left the first section out that I'm going to be working on. And we're going to get this pretty straightforward for you. It's no fluff, in a matter of we can add this on to any service without any extra time. And I'm going to be using the same base color as my low light. And I always like to teach more organically with my demonstrations. So I look at the density, how much hair lives in the end and how impactful I want it to be. So I want her to be a pretty vibrant copper, but multi-reflective. So I'm using the base color again. It's a Noah 6x6, a copper red with 20 volume. And to kind of kick up this, this strawberry brown she has going on, I'm gonna sprinkle in some low lights through the back and then do her base color and then set my timer for 35 minutes. And then I'm gonna follow up with Dia Color, which processes for 20 minutes on the tail end of pulling everything through. Again, with 15 volume, and that's going to give more reflect and vibrancy and multi-dimension against that low light. They're very close in tone, but they're gonna give just enough oomph to give multi-dimension and give her something je ne sais quoi. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the density of my hair. And the way that I do that is I use my scissor fingers and I kind of see like what's going on with the ends, and then where there's spacing, that's where I can go ahead and place my pieces. I'm not going too deep, but I am thinking more like a mocked up reverse balayage, where we're picking up the pieces, but they're in low lights. And I'm using a board. I like to kind of be able to push the color in with that flatness. I'm going in with the 20 volume 6x6. I'm just gonna sprinkle in a handful in the back and a handful in the front. And we wanna work smarter, not harder. So I'm gonna try to do this in real time for you because she was only originally down for a base color, but we can easily add on a surface. So far, I chalk the Metal Detox treatment into my service, and then this would be a full head of lowlights with a base color. But the original service was just as Now going back to being more efficient behind the chair, ways that I do that is I do work with an associate, but I had to recently train a new associate. And the way I can transition more easily is I have systems in place. Systems that will help things become more seamless and just smooth transition, not only for my guests, but for my assistant to make it a more comfortable experience for the guests. And that it's stress-free for my associates. And with that, my associate knows up front how I work, how I operate, how my verbiage is. So I always say prep, not mix. Prep means prepare it, not to mix it. And that could be like prepping a toner before we take down all the foils. I'm just working on a diagonal here, sprinkling in a pretty bold low light. And again, I'm using my scissor fingers to smooth out and look at the divots in the end. And to kind of show that, you can kind of see the spacing, and that's what I'm looking to be more intentional with my purposeful placement. When I come in the mornings, the first thing I do is make sure my station's set up. I look at my day. I look for opportunities. Opportunities are where who isn't someone to normally get a treatment, who is not getting a haircut or a blow dry, where you could potentially fit one in. Or maybe it could be, if you work in salon spa, then you can see if that guest wants to tack on an extra service. But it's always looking at the big grand scheme of things, and also who needs to pick up hair care. And this is where I use the term professionally prescribe, professionally recommend, so that they are investing in their hair and an insurance policy to their hair color. So I have already just placed 4 lowlights on one side, on her back right, and now I'm going in with probably about 4, if not 5 on the top, connecting the 2 sections together, right on her cowlick. You don't want it to be too dramatic, very organic, multi-dimensional. Again, working very efficient with our time. Now I know metal detox can be a little intimidating to some people, but we all have metals in our water. And I don't know about you, but I love to travel, and I always make sure I have my travel-friendly metal detox with me, because the last thing you want is someone's hair to get so dry and brittle and possibly yellowed from water that they're in, whether it's shower or swimming in lakes or oceans, you name it. But metal detox is more of a signature service in our salon because it automatically is needed for a lot of guests with their travel. speaking of travel, a lot of my guests are busy coming and going, whether they're moms, soccer moms. It doesn't have to be soccer, it can be any sport, but my best friends all have 3 kids each. So they're always busy and they want to make the most out of their time and they don't want to be sitting forever. So I make sure that I talk during consultation and during their services for opportunities for them to be pre-booked. She's coming off here. To be pre-booked out during their service so that it's not something that they have to worry about at checkout. I can easily work that in. Now, if you work with an associate, that's something that works in your favor, but if not, I would just do it as a mixing, and that's just working smarter, not harder with your time. We are now on the calic, which is a heavy split. I might even take this into the front section because I don't want it to get wonky when she falls. When the calic falls or when she sleeps funny and then it splits funny and we have a dark hole. Not a dark hole, but just not organic. Going in on a diagonal here, just sprinkling them in. I want her to be a little bit lighter around the front, so I'm gonna blend in a more natural, smaller stitch here across the hairline. So I'm taking the whole front panel, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when she pulls her hair back, not only is it gonna be deep at the root, but the ends are gonna be nice and bright, but we have some depth to play out. I call it a progressive appointment. And what I mean by that is her base color and low lights are 35 minutes, but then her mid light is gonna take 20 minutes. So the timer's already going, so once I've already pulled the color through, I can go straight into gauging my time on that Dia color. I'm kind of pivoting here a little bit, just working with the rounding of the head. And I'm not worried about the roots if I don't get those completely. Just folding in the tails. I'm not swirling. Swirling can cause tangling and it's not gentle on the hair. So I'm just being mindful of that. When I get to the top, I probably go more of a softer stitch, more natural, more organic, versus too chunky or bold to it. So this is where her part is. This acts as a veil. It's a little zigzag right on her part. And I've gone completely sideways here. And I'm gonna sprinkle in a little light right there. This is a full head of lowlights. This does not need to be done every single time, and I would preface that to the guests, but really just getting them ramped up for fall. And then you can just glaze in the future, and you can always sprinkle in lowlights as you go, or you can change the color. So here I am on the hairline again, working on a diagonal. I use my scissor fingers to kind of see where the breaks are, and that's where I want to be impactful with my dimension. You want to be mindful of the conversations you're having with your guests and opportunities to support them in maintaining their color. Okay. That's with having conversations about hair care. How are they doing with their hair care? Do we need to fill in any gaps? Missing anything? Or are they enjoying what they're using? Half the time they need to switch it up, or they're not using something professional. And knowing their beauty budget, I like to use those words versus like dollar amount, because you can't judge anyone by their wallet. And again, we're on her part. And tilt her back again for a visual here. Again, I'm doing like a zigzag, so it acts like a veil. And I'm using the 20 volume to pick up and shift out any dullness. Already have some good dimension with her low lights. Be mindful, be very demure. So don't check off at the moment. I'm just gonna gently lay this down. To ensure everything is saturated and dragged down. I'm dragging about 3 inches down, and then I'll follow up with the Dia color on her ends. In sections. Using the side of my brush to feather up. I used a tube of 646 20 volume at her roots, and then mixed up a tube of Dia Color 740 15 volume for the mid lengths and ends. So I'm going to start my timer once I finish double checking where I drag down to, using my tail comb, kind of feather that through. Now we're going to swap out. Dia color. Again, I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes because that's processing time for Anoa. Love the viscosity of Dia color and no scent. I'm going to start in the back, work on my way forward. And the goal here is to have it all work through so it has 20 minutes to process fully. You're using Dia Color 15 volume. Again, this is our ammonia-free guest experience. So when we're done with this, I want to follow up with the Metal Detox shampoo and mask, and then also the blow dry cream. It's got heat protected to 450 degrees. It's a no-brainer. And the scents are incredible, so it's really lovely to share that with a guest to ensure their color. And I always recommend that they kind of switch out both the Metal Detox and then also something that is for their regular hair care. So in this case, I would recommend the Vitamino Color Sealer. And then when she comes in for a retouch and getting a haircut, a dusting, and a glaze of Dia Color. And this is maybe using the 9 volume instead of the 15 then, because we're just trying to kick up and shift out the previous color. So again, looking very clean and organized. Since we dragged it down, I just focus on the lengths and ends. While I'm finishing up here, I just want to bring light to how I like to start my day and work more efficient behind the chair, and bringing more opportunity for making the most out of your days. And I have a little post-it that I keep at my station, and it's got those 4 Ps. Pre-plan, so pre-plan out your day. Systems are very helpful with that. Organization is very helpful with that. Communicating with your associates and your team. And looking at your full day of who could possibly tack on a haircut if you have space for it, or a blow dry, or who doesn't usually get a treatment that you can add on a treatment. If you see something, do something. That is my rule of thumb. So the second P is prescribe, and that's where during consultation I professionally prescribe what hair care they could use, as well as the recommended treatment for them. So in this case, we recommended the metal detox for her. And we're following up with that. And then her hair care, I would swap out between metal detox and vitamin O color sealer. Maybe even sending her home with the travel size metal detox for the first 2 weeks, and then switching to vitamin O color. Working this through with my hands. Okay, while we're finishing up pulling through the last bit, Dia color 744, 15 volume. I was just talking about how important it is to pre-book your client during your consultation. And I usually go about that by asking, how was your visits in between? Do you feel like this is enough time in between, or do we need to revisit coming in sooner, or spacing it out? A lot of my clients are natural hair color, so I end up gauging how they feel about their roots when they come in, and then looking at their travel schedule and seeing what's best suitable for them. And last but not least, professionally recommending hair care. And again, that conversation is during consultation, but also while we're doing the shampoo massage, telling them what I'm using on them, and professionally recommending in that moment of this would be ideal to use on your hair at this stage if we need to swap out anything, change up their hair care regimen so that they're not using the same thing. But now she has 20 some odd minutes for her base color, and then we'll take everything down and get her blend dry. All done at the same time. Again, this is the ammonia-free Guess Experience. And I like to put cotton around the hairline. Oils. Okay, and there you have it. Full head of lowlights, ammonia-free hair color, followed up with a metal detox treatment. So I invite you to use this technique and utilizing both a NOAA and Dia color on the same head to work in your favor with efficiency. Because again, we did 35 minutes with our base color and low lights, and then 20 minutes we started pulling through after setting our timer with a NOAA. I hope that this is beneficial for you guys, and I look forward to seeing your results. You can follow me at Costello Rachel, and hashtag all your work with L'Oreal Professionnel with L'Oreal Pro US.